Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another book review this summer. And my second book is a nonfiction book. And so I guess it's going to be niche interest on whether or not you care about this one. But this was a concise history of the Crusades. I've always been very interested in this kind of odd episode of Western history. Because of its intersection of not just military history, but religious history as well. And I found this book very fascinating. I taught the Crusades before in class, but I learned a lot of new stuff about the Crusader movement, and also got some, met some of the key figures who, I already knew about, but got to see how they lived up to their reputations that I knew in a much smaller capacity. People, of course, like Richard I, the Lionheart of England, Saladin. I didn't know that much about King Saint Louis, the King of France, who led a couple later Crusades. And then also learned about a lot of the smaller crusades in addition to the big ones. The one thing that, if you're interested in this, that it doesn't go into is the Crusader States themselves. Not that there are 4 Crusader States, if you don't know. There's Edessa, Antioch, Tripoli, and Jerusalem. And it talks about them. They're featured in it, but it doesn't go into how these places were actually run and managed, and a history of those kingdoms themselves. It really just stays focused on the Crusader movement. So a lot of the narrative, the historical narrative that you're following, is really coming from Europe, and why the people did what they did. And I think the most interesting thing is, being a modern person, especially someone who has studied like later colonialism and imperialism, where religious motivations, like the famous God, Glory, and Gold, saying God was always the least important of those 3 G's, but here it is the end-all be-all. That you can't separate the religious motivations from the crusading movement, and that goes also with the Muslim response to the Crusader movement, that religion was the most important motivation for most of these actors. Not that there weren't other economic and cultural factors at play as well, but the religious factor was the most important. And I thought that was really fascinating, that I had to strip away some modern perspective to see that. If you like history, if you're particularly interested in the crusading history, highly recommend this book. It was very readable. I'm going to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. So, again, if this is a subject you're interested in, go check this one out.